Welcome to another day of the DQ Labs conversations. Um, Sorry for the slight delay, but I hope you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please type in yes um, in the. Please type in yes in the chat box because that will help us understand um, whether you all can hear me or not. All right. So I'm going to switch between a few screens today, and all right. Just a second. I need to share only one part of my screen so that. Okay. Thank you all for making it here. Um, Right, fantastic. So a lot of names I do recognize because I've interacted with a lot of you already, and many of you all I have not interacted with, and I hope to do so in the next uh, few weeks, months, and over the course of the year. So coming down to this presentation, today's topic is design and fashion schools applications 2021. Now the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of parents and students of the 2021 batch have said, you know what, there are some application deadlines come out, some private schools have opened up the applications, should I be applying? So really this is the reason why I have decided to organize this particular webinar on this topic. And this is part of our series called DQ Conversations, which happens every Monday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now, the agenda for today is a special session for parents and students, of course, but more importantly for parents, is to understand the importance of a top design school. Uh, some DQ Labs toppers of the 2020 batch and their secrets, the seats available in each of these institutes and the weightages for applications or admissions, and also the application deadlines. Um, the list of schools that you can consider, all right, and of course interacting with representatives of each of the schools, design schools, um, and any special request or personal counseling that you require. All right. Now, just to bring everybody on board, um, so we have, so assuming that all of y'all are in class 12, all right. Um, Even if you're not, that's good that you're here, but assuming y'all are in class 12, we start off with either you are in commerce or you're in science or arts. All right. Now, if you are a student of science, you have all options open to you, which is architecture, design, or fashion or planning. However, if you are a student of commerce or arts, you will have design and fashion open to you. All right. Now, ideally, once you go through this, so if you see this diagram, um, you'll see that NIDs and NIFTs have a two-stage entrance process. One is prelims or a written test, and the second one is mains and a situation test. All right. Now, if you look at USEED has only a single stage process. All right. Now, the NIDs, of course, to get in the NIDs, the 5 NIDs, or the USEED is for the 5 IITs or the 4 IITs, 4 or 5 IITs. We'll get into those details in a bit. And of course, the 16 NIFTs. All right. For that, you need to take the NIFT exams. All right. So once you graduate from these, you get a standard BDes degree. All right. Either a BDes or some of the NIDs give you a GDPD or Graduate Diploma Program in Design. Now, I will get into the technical details a little later. That's down my slides, but ideally, this is what all of y'all should be targeting. All right. Now, Some of y'all may miss the bus in your undergraduate, so y'all can always catch up in the post graduation. All right. So from the post graduation, people from BA, BSc, BCom, any background of engineering, any background can still catch up with design. Now, I think one of the key things is the importance of a top design school. Why should you look at a top design school and not anyone? All right. So, in general, any design school that you look at, all right, um, they teach you observation skills, or rather, I wouldn't say they teach, they develop your observation skills, your problem solving skills, your creative skills, communication, general knowledge, networking skills, very important. All right. Your analytical reasoning, visualization skills, material handling, interpersonal skills, business skills, marketing skills. Now, all these skills are extremely important for you to be a successful designer. And pretty much all schools give you that. In fact, at DQ Labs, we also teach you most of these skills. Um, the the entrance exams, every entrance exam will test you for one or multiple of these skills. Okay, in fact, not even one, it's going to test you multiple or a range of these skills at different levels. And that's why you need to really understand what happens. All right. Now, the difference between any design school and a top design school, all right, they focus on a lot of other skills that are required. Okay, for example, the networking skills. This is critical. This is a key area that you need to develop. Then your interpersonal skills, your business skills, all right, your marketing and sales skills. We have tremendous number of designers who are phenomenal at what they do, but it's the ones who can market themselves better win the game. All right. So um, so that is important. Your sense of entrepreneurship, your ability to collaborate, your understanding of profitability, of finance, of what you do. All right. Your ability to negotiate, your decision making skill, your emotional intelligence, all of these are absolutely critical to your success. All right. So one of the most critical skills, and we see very apt for this time, is adapting to change. In fact, I had this on my slides right through last year, but neither I nor any of us envisioned that we would see everything change so drastically within a span of a few months. Now, so the good part is, being a designer, the skills that they teach you to adapt to change are phenomenal. All right. If I give you an example of Umesh is the founder of DQ Labs. He's an architect, worked as an architect, did his master's in design, worked as a transportation designer. All right. He worked with Jaguar Land Rover. He worked with Hyundai Motors. Then he got into education. Right now, we are designing, learning. We're doing research in a field called learning design, which means if something has to be learned, how do you need to teach it? All right. So that's our area of research. So all of this is important. Okay, and the results of these, we've seen tremendous results amongst our students um, in 2020. All right, so we've got fantastic results, and we have phenomenal students who have done well. All right. I'm just going to skim through this, but but there's tremendous success in this. Now, you really need to understand, why do these people succeed? All right, it is not a single skill that they're developing. You are not expected to be a designer when you join a design school. They make you a designer. All right, but they want to see if you have the thought process for it. Now, building that thought process does not start and end with preparing for the exam. All right, the exam is one aspect of it, but you need to live, you need to breathe and you need to really put into practice your sense of design. All right, that's what they're looking for. There is a very important need for a passion. All right, um, that's something that will come along the way, but you need to start working towards all those skills today. All right, if you've not started already. Now, one of the key things here is to understand the exam overview. All right, so in the NIDs, there's a total of 425 seats. All right, if you look here, NID Ahmedabad gives you a BDes. They have a total of 125 seats. Now, this is only UG. All right, but there are uh, reservations for various categories, and this brings down the number of general merit seats to 50. All right, from this they reduce the PWD quota, and so that comes to approximately 43, 44 seats. There's no defined number. All right, so we can only assume. um, Similarly, with the other NIDs, there are about 75 seats in general, but due to the various reservations, the number of seats comes down to approximately 30 minus PWD. You can kind of range it from 30 to 27 to 30. All right. So approximately there should be about 152 seats for general merit category amongst the 425 seats. All right. Now, I do not want you to be disappointed or say, oh, this is too hard. That's not the point. All right. The point is in making you aware of the right situation. Um, Far too many times people reach the end of the year and then they say, oh my God, that's what I want to prevent. And that's the reason why I'm telling you this right away. All right. If you view the website, so when should you start looking out for the application process? All right. So you need to start looking to the official websites only. And if I can show you the official websites, can you see this? Right. So basically, what you need to do, you need to look for NID.ed or admissions. All right, admissions.nid.edu. All the information is here for the NIDs. Um, if you come to the USEED website, you'll get all the information for USEED. Similarly, with NIFT, you come to the official website, come to the admissions, and you get the latest information here. We do have this updated on the DQ Labs website as well as far as possible. But the most accurate information you will get only from these official websites. And far too many times people go to random website, they just type in NIFT, they go to some random website and they say I got the information from there. Please be aware of this. All right. Now coming down to the IITs. Now in the IITs there are three IITs, that's IIT Bombay, Guwahati and Hyderabad, and there is one triple IT which is in Jabalpur. All right. Now all the seats in these come up to 144 with about 58 seats in the general merit category. Um, so I'm going to stop my screen share for now, and I'm just going to look at the questions that you'll have. All right. Um, the other NIDs offer BDES. Okay, so there are some questions. All right. Um, USEED scores are accepted by other colleges. Yes, correct. I will come to that. The dates are out. Are the dates out for the 2021 exams? Anshul Jain, no. The dates are not out yet. Ojas Mishra is asking, the other NIDs, do they offer BDES degrees? The answer is not yet. All right. So we'll come down to the answers. All right, for all of these. So just hold on a second. Yeah, I'm sorry for that break. Um, Now I will come down. I'll go back to the presentation and I will share my screen. All right. So when should you start looking at the websites, the IIT official website? That is from October onwards. Remember, NIDs, you need to look at it from October onwards. IITs also from October onwards. And now coming down to the NIFTs. In the NIFTs, the total seats for UG is about 3380. All right. This is across the 16 NIFTs. You will find all of this on the official website. You need to start looking at the website from October onwards. All right. Um, right. So now coming down to the weightage of the NID exams. All right. When we come down to the weightage, what I've put here is two aspects of this. So number one is the aspect of what happened originally, and the second part is the amendment for 2020. All right. So now in the NIDs, BDAS or GDPD, all right, the initial weightage for prelims was 30% and that of mains was 70%, which means in ordinary times, even though that prelims is so competitive, all right, um, the actual number of students that take these exams are not really officially declared, but estimated in the range of 20 to 25,000. Okay, or it could be anywhere between say 12,000, 15, 13,000 to about 20,000, in that range. All right. So uh, from that range of students, that is open to 425 seats. All right. And these 425 seats, to get into that, all the 15, 20,000 students, all of them write the DAT prelims, but only um, about 1,500 to 1,600 or maximum about 2,000 students get selected into to even participate in that mains. All right. So that mains is only open to about 1,500 to 2,000 people. That prelims, the weightage for that is just 30%, and the weightage for that mains is 70%. Now, what is really required in that mains? Or rather, what is there in that prelims and what is there in that mains? That prelims is your aptitude test, your mental ability, visual spatial ability. They are trying to test these skills. So if I go into possibly, let me go to DQ Edge. All right. Now, for you to understand, it is extremely important for you to understand the structure of the topics that come. All right. So now what I need you to do is select your course here as NID. Understand that mental ability, analytical reasoning, visual spatial ability, general knowledge, math, English, all of these are very important topics that you need to prepare for. All right. Now, when you do that, you get a coverage chart. How do you prepare for this? This coverage chart has to be green. All right. So that means you enter into, let's say, general knowledge, for example. You click on famous art and artists. All right. You click on the topic you've not finished. You go through all of this work, understand the artist. Now, it's not enough just to go through this. Now that you have information about this artist, you go further and research a little more on what they do, okay, or what they've done. And at the end of this, you see the small button at the bottom which says mark as done. You need to click on that. All right. As soon as that happens, your points increase. And if you go back to your learn, okay, this becomes a little greener, right? We want this to be entirely green. Now, there are about 600 topics if you go through learn. All right. if you go through this learn, there are about 600 topics that you need to cover in this. And those 600 topics will help you tremendously to get into an NID or an IIT. In fact, all the toppers have gone extensively through these. Okay. And if you see the graph of this, of these toppers, it is almost green. All right. So this is how you prepare for the prelims. Now, what now do you need to complete the entire learn section before you start taking the tests? The answer is no. If you click on this take test section, you get aptitude tests. This is just a preliminary test, but you get past year question papers, you get mock tests, you get again all the past year question papers in the subject wise. All right, so all that is placed here, and there are these are called the predicted questions. All right, so I'm going to change this to a student format now. Very important, and I'm repeating this. All right, these are the suggestions. Okay, these are the topics um, which you need to prepare, and everybody gets different topics. For how to prepare on this, we will have a different webinar for that. But how to use DQ Edge, how to maximize your score and use this well, that is a conversation we will have for another Monday. All right. But it's very important now that you go through these past year question papers. My recommendation is this week, take at least one past year question paper of NID, one USEED question paper, one NID and one USEED question paper. See your performance, see where you stand. All right. For example, if I go into, and there is both, there is sketching as well as aptitude. All right. I want you to take the sketching. I want you to upload your sketches. All these 5 questions, upload it. I want you to go through this aptitude part, finish this test. Remember, this 3 hours is for both the sketching and the aptitude. All right. I want you to stick to that time limit and finish this. Then you can go into your profile. All right. You can look at your sketches, what you've uploaded. Um, right. Now in this case, I have uploaded this. You can look at this. You can see what you can rate yourself. All right. And you can see what others have done for the same sketch. All right, so that would give you a good idea of what your level should be. Okay, and one important thing is rate yourself and get your faculty to rate you as well. Okay, and that's important for now. So please keep that as your takeaway and your task for today. Okay, I'm going to click on this next, but I'm going to come back to my webinar, right? Now, I digressed a little bit because I think that is important for you to understand how to prepare for your prelims. All right. Now, what is expected when you prepare for your mains? For your mains, when you go there, um, you go to the learn section and you look at material handling. And these are the topics that you need to prepare for your mains. Now, why is it that we focus so much on the mains? Is because there is a 70% weightage, all right, for mains. Now, that is a defining factor. So, even if you get through part one, your part one preparation should be standard, but also start preparing for part two because that is critical, all right. Now, what is required in part two? All of this is there in the brochure or in the prospectus. Please go through that. Uh, but typically you need to have good material handling skills and you need to have a fairly decent portfolio. Now the portfolio for NIDs or IITs are not, or NIFTs is not mandatory. Even if they ask you for one, it's just a basic collection of your work. Next week we are doing a webinar on your portfolio preparation for schools in India and schools abroad. So please attend next Monday's webinar for more information on your portfolio preparation. But this year, of course, due to the pandemic, there was a change. They made an amendment for 2020. What they said is we will reverse this and give a 70% weightage for the prelims and a 30% weightage for mains. So now what are they going to do in 2021? Do we know? Absolutely not. They will come out with suggestions and they will probably do it in one way or the other, but please keep yourselves prepared anyway. The one consistent feedback is that there is no consistency. All right, you can expect questions from anything. You can prepare as much as you want, but you will get questions that you don't know. Similarly, for fashion design, that is for the NIFTs, they have a creative aptitude test, they have a general ability test, and a situation test. All right. For fashion schools, the situation test weightage is just about 20%, but there's a huge weightage for the creative part. Now, this webinar primarily focuses on the design students, but why am I talking about fashion? Keep your options open. That's all. You're not interested in fashion, no problem. Take the test, give it a shot. Absolutely no, not a problem. But do give it your best shot. Um, you never know how it could help you because there is a relationship. Now, if you do not get, say, photography, for example, product design in an NID, you could consider accessory design at an NIFT, right? If you don't get communication design at an NID, you could consider fashion communication at an NIFT. So this is how you correlate topics or your branches, and then you see how, what suits you. If it doesn't suit you, it doesn't suit you. But the amendment for 2020 in NIFTs is that they cancel the situation test. Enrollments were primarily based on the performance in the CAT and GAT. All right. Now, this is our standard message. Keep your options open. Target the right design school. It may be an NID, it may be an NIFT, it may not be either of these, it may not be a IIT. But keep your mind open to private design schools as well because they're pretty good. All right. But how to go about that is a whole new topic. So that is the next part of the session, which is choosing a design school that is right for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to handle a few more questions. All right. Um, right. So what are the courses offered in BDES NID? Please go through the website. That is most important. I need you to go through, find out information. Now, I do not want to be spoon feeding any of y'all. I want y'all to do your own research. That is critical. All right. If you do need information, of course, it's there on a website. But this webinar is important that we keep it to the topic, or I give you critical information rather than general information that's available on the website. Okay. Is there one form for all NIDs or individuals to fill? So Arushi Kakar, there is one form as an application for all NIDs. Is there interior designing at NIFTs? No. For interior designing, there is SEPT, Ahmedabad, which has a beautiful interior design program. So you can consider that. Um, or you could also consider furniture design at NIDs, which is interesting. Alternatively, you could, so the IITs give you a general BDES degree, which you can use those skill sets to, get into any field that you like. Which private colleges should we look for? I will come down to that. Is GDPD a degree equivalent to BDES? That is my next part of the question. The NIT Jorhat website says it offers BDES for this year. Right. So these changes probably have happened recently. So maybe I'm not entirely updated. I'm going by the what is declared officially in the prospectus. All right. So yes, there was the NID Act OJAS, which has been implemented from July this year. They had all these schools became quite independent. What is the admission process for NID and USEED? So Omisha, you just need to look at the website, follow the website. The NID applications come out or the USEED application forms come out. You will have sufficient time to figure out what is required in that form and fill it up. Now, a lot of students, what they do, they wait till the end and say, and submit the form on the last day. We don't want you to do that. We want you to start off right from the beginning. All right. Can you tell us good private design schools in Bangalore? Yes, I will come down to that. Can you apply to NIFT if you have taken humanities in 11th and 12th? Appala Jagan? Yes, you can. Um, NIDs, IITs, and NIFTs. All right. In fact, all design schools, they are not um, they're not particular what background you are from, whether you're from science, arts, or commerce. They're in fact not even too particular about your board scores. All right. That is something you still have to do well for your own personal interest. But as far as admission process is concerned, they primarily look at your design sensibilities, and this admission process is the only thing that they follow. All right. Um, what what was the cutoff? Cutoffs range every year. Last year's cutoff need not be repeated this time. How many times can we attempt the NID exams? There is only one exam each year, so that's you can only answer it once in a year. So focus on that once. Don't focus on the second time. We don't want you to lose a year. Okay. Um, how is sketching corrected? How many days it would take? So Abe Shenoy, you'll have to coordinate with your counselor to get your sketches corrected. All right. For international colleges, is a SAT score needed? So we'll cover the international colleges next week, Nipun. Um, what is the admission process for OCI holders? Okay, so this is an interesting question. Sanskriti Maiti. Um, please understand that there is a separate quota for NRI candidates. If you do have a NRI card or an OCI card, please go through the websites, contact your counselor, inform them that you are an NRI card holder, because there is something called a supernumerary set of seats, which is beyond this. All right. So please connect with our DQ Labs counselors. They will guide you, or they will put you on to me. Is it slightly easier to get into an NIFT? We wouldn't say that. It's challenging to get into an NID or an NIFT. Both are as challenging. By virtue of the number of seats available at NIFTs, yes, it is a little more simpler, but the exams are still tough. Which colleges accept USEED scores? You can go on the website to find that out. All right. Pretty much all private schools do that. What is the eligibility criteria? Again, these are questions you will find on the website. Okay. In the online interview for mains, how are they going to test material handling skills, and do we need to have certain supplies for it? So Mitra is asking an interesting question. What is the online interview format like? This year they had something called an online interaction, where they had an interview, they gave some tasks, they interviewed the students, and there was some kind of a interaction. But for next year, we are not certain if that's going to happen. So um, so we will inform you in the classes. Your classes will prepare you for these. All right. Students who have passed out in 12th in 2020 and taken a gap year, um, can students who have passed 12th in 2020 take a gap year and apply for design schools? Yes, you can, Sanjana. Students can do that, but what we do recommend is don't give up a year. Take a take another design school for now and then try again. All right. Mm, okay. Which are the courses in animation okay. So questions related to schools, I will take it. Can I do BARC and okay? Can I do BARC and BDES together with one as distance education? No, I don't think that's possible at this point of time. BARC is a full-time degree. BDES also, I'm not aware of a full-time online degree, but I don't think you'll have the time to do that if you are pursuing one course. Which IIT requires a science background? Pragati, IIT Guwahati requires you to have a science background. All right. Please give some details of BF Tech versus BDES from an NIFT. All right. So BF Tech is a technical program. It's more like an engineering program related to fashion production. Let me put it that way. All right. Whereas BDES is fundamentally a creative program with which your creative skills are at the forefront. All right. Not your technical skills from a creative perspective. So that's the difference. Okay. I'm going to so I hope that's answered your question. Arushi, there is a difference in the format of the exam as well. The creative part is not there for BF Tech. All right, only the technical part is available. Right. So I'll go back to. I'm going to go back to my presentation, which is choosing a right design, which is choosing a design school which is right for you. Please note that those of you who are particular about a BDES degree, you'll need to understand that BDES degrees are are there is the AICT oversees every college that awards a BDES degree, and every college has to get the approval of the AICTE, and they are in charge of the BDES and the BVOC programs. Okay, those are bachelors of vocation. These are both 4-year programs. All right. Um, right. So make sure that if you are particular about a BDES degree, make sure that your BVOC is that it is approved by AICTE. All right. Now, what do we want for our students? Why are we saying choose a school and a good school, right? And is the degree really important? Now, what we prefer to say is go beyond the degree, go one step beyond. Your college should really give you an opportunity, all right? It should give you a platform such that when you graduate from that university, you need to get into good quality research and development job. Case in question, Sean and Umesh. All right, both of them have graduated from IIT Delhi, and they got into General Motors and Jaguar Land Rover, and they've worked in these kind of environments. Their friends are in various companies. Please attend the industry e-meets every Sunday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Attend that. That will give you a good idea of what a designer does. All right. And all those designers, architects have graduated from good schools and they have reached where they are. All right. That is what you need to get, irrespective of what the degree awards you. All right. Yes, it's important to have a good degree, but if you don't get that, you need to look at the platform that the college provides. Now, what is the difference between a government school and a private school, right? So you have institutes of national importance. All right. So those are the NIDs, IITs, NIFTs, FTDI, SEPT, and there's a whole lot more. All right. But these could give you BDES or GDPD degrees. Now, a lot of people, I'm not sure if Jorhat and all these other NIDs have transitioned to BDES yet. If they have not, that was well in the cards. So it will happen sooner or later. But just so you know, does it make a difference? Technically, not so much. In terms of an equivalence, it is absolutely equivalent. So there's not something that you need to worry about. Um, Occasionally, there may be issues with regard to the term diploma, but that is something that you justify. For example, when you do a master's degree, they'll ask you for a bachelor's degree or equivalent. All right. So that that you need to see case by case, and you need to just take that one step to prove that this is an equivalent degree. But otherwise, nothing significantly affects you. All right. Then there are these government universities. So government universities could be something like a Bangalore University, which awards a BDes degree. They award a BWalk degree. So all these degrees are awarded by a Bangalore University, right? Then there are these private universities, which again give you a BDes or a BWalk or whatever, etc., or a BSc, BA. So all these private universities. For example, over here you could probably say Jain University, right? So they have the ability to give a degree. And then there are private institutes. Private institutes cannot give you a degree per se. All right. So they generally give you certificate programs. So let me tell you, give you an example of Pearl Academy, right? It's a private institute. They cannot award a bachelor's degree, but they can affiliate themselves with certain institutes, with certain universities, and then they could award those degrees. All right. So they can have international affiliations as well. So many of them, what of schools like that, what they do is they have 3 years in India, the fourth year abroad, and you get the degree from the foreign university. All right. And that degree is valid, of course, maybe across Europe or all over the world, and it's recognized. All right. But just because it's an institute does not mean it's bad. All right. Because some of these institutes give such a good platform that it is really, worth considering. I'm not saying join, I'm saying it's worth considering. All right. So really, to make this decision about your degree, all right, is it important, is it not, you should kind of figure out what is your objective. If your objective is to do a master's program, then yes, you need to make sure that the degree that you get or the diploma that you get can get you into a school abroad. Generally, if schools abroad, they will give you value, they will value everything that you do, including this diploma. They'll give certain credits. They will equate these credits to what they already have, and then they will consider this as a degree. So many of these schools that are institutes, um, they would um, they would make sure that their curriculum is in line with what foreign schools require. Or they will also ensure that what happens is in line with, for you, qualifies you to do a master's program. So that is important, that you ensure that you confirm this, clarify this with whichever institute you're considering, and that happens. What if your objective is quality of education? If your objective is quality of education, then really the degree won't matter. You need to look at the school that gives you the best platform. What if your objective is to get a job? All right. If your objective is to get a job, then again, it is the value of the learning that you have. They'll look at your portfolio. They'll say, okay, do you have a good portfolio? There are very few companies that actually say, oh, I want a person with a BDes degree. That could happen. I'm not saying that won't happen. That could happen. And it's important that you consider this. Let me just have a sip of water. Just a second. Right. In some cases, you may want to immigrate to another country, and that's when a diploma may not be considered. A degree is considered. All right. Now, let me do one thing. Okay. I didn't realize I was not sharing my screen. All right. Um, hold on. Yeah, so just for those, I'm sorry, I missed sharing my screen. I just realized that, but this is the notification from the All India Council of Technical Education, which says that BDes and BWOC degrees come under them. Um, this is the importance of what we are looking for from our students and why we want our students to join good schools. This is a snapshot of the um, the what I spoke about, the institutes of national importance, the government universities, the private universities, and the private institutes. All right. So this is what I wanted to kind of focus on a little bit. What is the issue about your degree? That is your objective. What is your purpose of doing a degree? Um, and that's very important. All right. Now I'm going to go into the parameters, but before I go into the parameters, I'm going to just look at a few more questions. Okay. Which IIT need math, or can I apply for all if I have a science without math background? Um, yeah, so Aviva Mudappa, I think Guwahati requires you to have a science background. I'm not sure. I think you'll need to go onto the website to kind of figure out what their specific requirements are. All right, you can go onto the IIT Guwahati website. Will the mains and interview be conducted in Ahmedabad? Elena, no, it's conducted at all cities usually, but this year they had it online. Next year also there is a possibility to have it online. Vandana is asking for MDes. Would you advise studying in India or abroad? Um, Indian colleges are great. Foreign schools are great as well. You it depends on it depends on what you want to achieve, and you can do it from there. Can you share names of good private institutes that provide a good platform in regards to graphics? Yes, I will come down to that. How will our NID and USEED score matter in getting into a good private design school? Ah, Shalmali is asking, how will our NID or USEED or SEED score matter in getting into a private design school? So when private design schools consider USEED scores, you still need to go through their own entrance exams. Um, and they will still have their own application process, their own entrance exams, and you can, some of these schools give you a scholarship if you have a good USEED score, so it matters there. All right. But other schools, they say if you cleared USEED, if you cleared NID, then you come straight to the second round. There's no first round for you. All right. Where will the interview be conducted? The interviews will be conducted locally at maybe the NIDs at each city, or you may have to travel to all the NIDs, or it could happen online as well. We don't know. Which design schools provide the option of having a fourth year abroad? So Anuj Ghosh, so there are a lot of design schools that give this option, like Pearl Academy or ISDI, and there's a whole lot. We'll cover that in a little later. If it's online next year, how would they conduct the sketching part? Sanjana Anjan is asking a good question. If it's online next year, how would they conduct the sketching part? So this is something that we'd rather wait for them to come up with the notification. All right. What difference would a BDES have, institutional degree, in terms of after college? Do you recommend one of them? What difference would a BDES have over an institutional degree in terms of college, after college? Omisha, we've seen students graduating from colleges with degrees or without degrees, and I mean, with doing a 4-year program, but with an equivalent degree. And we've seen them getting, pretty much equal opportunities. Probably the salaries would differ here and there, but not too much otherwise. All right. Could you tell us about UID program? All right. Anika Chauhan. How much does 12th grade results matter for design schools? Um, Not really. I've covered this a little while ago in this presentation. 12th grade marks don't really play much of a role, but it's important to do well for your own self confidence. Don't neglect that. But you primarily need to balance your studies for your bachelor's as well as your 12th standard. But more importantly, the only skill that they will check is your performance in the entrance exams. Okay, that's NID will only look at the entrance exam. Your board marks, as long as you've got the minimum required percentage, 50% or similar, that should do. Do all NIDs offer exchange programs in the third year? So, Pragati, not necessarily. Um, there are exchange programs. Uh, there are various things. There are exchange programs. There are you know, just week small short-term programs they do abroad. The small courses could be just an industrial visit abroad. So there are various platforms that are created, and NIDs offer these to their students, but you know, those are into specifics which different NIDs offer at different parts of the year. So we're gonna, you know, that's something that we'll probably connect later with. All right. uh, Parameters to select a design school. Now when it comes to the private design schools, all right, um, so there is no issue. If you get an NID, take it. If you get an IIT, take it. If you get an NIFT, take it. If you get a CPT, take it. All right. But beyond these, you know, you need to be really choosy about the schools that you consider. Um, and these are a set of guidelines, not really, you know, in any order as such, but probably something for you to have a guideline to think about every time you consider a private design school. All right. Number one, consider location. All right. If it's in a location that's convenient to you, well and good. If it's in a city that you're in, or if it's in a city, maybe you're not in that city, but that location provides more opportunities for internships or guest faculty to come in. That's where location plays an advantage. That is something you could consider. Fee structure. Make sure that it's affordable to you and your family, so that it's not hard on them, or that you can probably qualify for a loan. But that is also an important parameter. The third important parameter is the degree or diploma that you get. All right. So, for example, an degree from an NID, you get a lot of authority with that, or an IIT or an NIFT. There's a lot of authority that comes with that. All right. But that does not mean that, you know, other schools are any less. Now, especially when you consider any of these schools, you need to focus on the head of the institute. All right. So a lot of times people come and ask me, should I consider this school or that school? You know, they have. I heard they have good faculty. What you need to understand is that faculty come. It's very important to have good faculty. All right. But faculty are also a little shorter term in their commitment to schools. So there are schools which have a long term commitment, or that within a school the head of institute has a long term commitment. They have a vision, they have a long term goal, and they need to execute that over a period of time. Whereas if you look at faculty have a more short term orientation. I mean, not all faculty, but their intention is to get that department well, or do a good course in that department, you know, which aligns with the institute. But the importance of the head is for a long term. So when you consider school, consider who's heading, and that plays a huge role. All right. College brand, of course, is very important. uh, the infrastructure that the college provides you is extremely important. All right. We are creative people, and we like a creative environment. You know, you don't want to get into a place where the building is very blah. right? Um, so that's what our students like. Faculty, of course, is important. The industry professionals, academicians, very famous academicians, the opportunities for you to get jobs or to interact or to get a very practical perspective is very important. And of course, placements is important as well. Many of these schools do focus a lot on placements. Many of them, students do not choose to join the companies that come for placements. Um, one very important thing that you need to understand is placements here are secondary as such, because these fields, the creative fields, you should focus primarily on your skills and your interests, and you should identify companies that need your skill sets rather than a company coming in and then you joining the skill sets or you acquiring the skill sets that they require. All right. You can do that if you choose to, but the ideal situation is if you identify a company that needs your skill set. So that could come through placements. It need not come through placements. But either ways, your single focus when you join a school is to create a brilliant portfolio and identify companies that need your skill sets. All right. Right. So just so you understand, um, you know, you need to really, this is not a hardcore thumb rule, but this is just for an example. All right. So what I mean by institute philosophy or the philosophy of the head. So one thing is you can follow your passion, right? NIDs, IITs, Srishti, these are schools that say if you are passionate about being a designer, come and join us, right? Now, there are these other sets of schools that say, you know, we will um, prepare you for anything, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to get a job, we will prepare you for those kind of schools. And then you have your other schools, your other schools that have a blend of the two different perspectives, right? So it's very important to consider these schools from these perspectives. Now, list of schools to consider. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this DQ Edge, click on this apply to colleges link. All right. And here you will see a whole list of schools that is important or that you can consider. All right. Now, what I need you to do is probably enter these schools. All right. You can find out a little more about these schools. You can see what they have. You can just get an overview from here. You can probably apply some of this information may not be relevant, but you can get some sample papers, things like this information, just something so that you can understand what the school is about. All right. um, you can also click on their links and go to their website. Oh, I'm sorry. So that website seems to be not working, but yeah, sorry about that. I'm not sure. Maybe you can go here, okay, and you can apply to these colleges, or maybe you can get some sample papers. Oh, I'm sorry about that again. But yeah, but this is what you could do, okay. uh, you can also express your interest in joining these schools. All right. So for example, if I click on this one, or let me see. Right. So let me take this one for example. I can click on this and it says apply here or visit the college site. So you can click on this and visit the college site, or you can click on this apply here button. And what will happen is your contact details will be shared with the school and your school will get back in touch with you. All right. So that's what will happen. Um, so that's the ideal way. Now, when it comes to the schools that you can consider, um, these are some of the schools. Now there are hundreds of schools all across India. These are some of them. You can consider these. There may be schools here which are not here, but you can also consider those as well. Now, what I also would like you to do is go on to the DQ Labs YouTube channel. All right. Um, when you come here, you can click on the playlist. All right. In these playlists, you find here e-meet your design school. All right. So I want you to click on this e-meet your. Oh wait, sorry. I want you to click on this view full playlist. Okay, and you'll get the entire playlist here. And we have covered interactions with Gurukul School of Design, Voxen, Strat, MIT, UID, D School, ITM. So tons of schools are here. All right, pretty much all these schools are here. You can uh, you can probably also reach out to these schools, and if there is a school that's on your list but not here, what you can do is you can also let me know, and we will we will probably try and invite them off. Okay, but uh, more importantly, um, what you can do is explore this website. All right, so there is the DQ Labs orientation videos. There is our past toppers. There are NID toppers speak. There's so many of these videos, so you can just explore this and explore this industry e-meet as well. All of these are good things for you to consider. All right, I'm going to stop screen share now, and I'm going to ask attend to the questions. All right. Is BDES animation a 3-year course? Okay, wait. So let me come back up. Okay, so what are the colleges that offer UI UX or graphic design in India? So UI UX and graphic design comes under communication design. So UI UX, graphic, film, video, communication, all of those are very, very important topics. All right. So if you want to understand um, this in detail, what I recommend that you do is, let me share my screen again. Okay. So if you want to understand this in detail, what you need to do is you come here, click on uh, click on this. Just a second. Right. So you can click on NID and you can get a lot of the information here. Now I want you to come here and click on this Creative Careers ebook. All right. So this is very important. Um, I'm sorry, I closed one of the channels. All right. Now in this book, you will have all these um, all these what is industrial design, communication design, IT integrated. All of that is very important. All right. So that's important. So please go through that. Um, I'm going to stop my screen share now. So RT Balaji, what I mean is what college offer UI UX and graphics. Please go through all those videos and of all those schools that we've interviewed. And by the way, what we are also doing is every week a new school is going to come and do some workshops with our students, generally on Sundays from about 9:30 a.m. to about 11 a.m. So please participate in those workshops. Um, all DQ lab students get access to those workshops. So please come and participate. Ensure that you actively participate in those. Um, I've passed my 12th and I'm giving long term. Okay, wait. Cover these questions. BDAS in Pearl Academy is a distance course. Pearl Academy does not offer a BDAS. They do. They have tied up with some, colleges, but watch the webinar from Pearl Academy to get more information on that. Nipundam, which are the good colleges for film design? So, Nipun, um, we definitely, apart from the IITs and NIDs, there are a few schools. The thing is that a lot of schools all across India, but I could find out and we could invite a few schools on which do film design to come and participate in one of these webinars. All right. I'm just looking for the questions. Will the entrances be scheduled as per the usual schedule like December, Jan, or will it be delayed this year? Now, this is anybody's guess. All right. We really don't know. We really don't know when the exams would be held, but we recommend that you prepare yourself so that everything is normal next year, that they will be able to conduct a physical exam, and that everything will be as normal as possible. All right. So prepare yourself for that. So Ragini Kannur, it's important that you do that. Career options for girls in animation and visual effects. So Anu Balaji Kumar, career options. What are the career options for girls in animation and visual effects? Right. So I think this is something that we would like to stress upon, that there is no difference between career options for girls and guys. We see that girls are as competent, as good, and 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 there is no difference. You can't say girls are better, boys are better. All careers are open for everyone, and they purely go based on skill sets. If whoever has a better skill set gets the jobs. Okay, which NIDs are best in India? So Shilpa, NID Ahmedabad is the oldest and has that legacy. So that is the most aspirational one. Uh, the other ones are definitely what you can consider. See, NID Ahmedabad, by virtue of being in Ahmedabad, has access to a lot of good faculty and an entire creative environment as a whole. So, NID Ahmedabad would probably be a better of the options, but that does not mean that any of the other NIDs are going to be less in the next 4 years. There are a lot of options that's going to be available. I'm sorry about that. I had a bit of a cough. Uh, not not a COVID cough. It's a throat. It's because of talking too much. Right. How much time shall I dedicate for the entrance exam preparation? Suhani, brilliant question. I think apt for pretty much everyone out here. Now, considering that the NIDs and IITs are your focus, and that is your only focus, or a design program is your only focus. You really need to dedicate a lot of time. So I would have to break it up in this format. There are about 600 topics that you need to cover in um, in DQH itself. Each of those topics, you will need a lot of time, or you can say, you'll need at least 3 to 4 hours a day of preparation on those topics. You need to work on your mock test parallelly, and you need to finish that by, say, October, November. All right. If you are able to finish all of this by October, November, you keep December, the entire December, just for mock tests, just for improvement skills, just to do, to fine tune yourselves, your skills that much more, so that you can get into your top school. All right. So that's the amount of time you will need to dedicate. Um, what we are doing is, by the way, we have planned a parent-teacher meet. All right, the parent-teacher meet has been planned for. We will intimate you on this, but it will be happening probably in the month of September, and we will get back with you on this. Our counselors will get back with you on this. All right. Um, we are also having something called a media meetup on 2nd of October. We will float out forms to see how many of y'all are available for that. We would like y'all as much time to be prepared, and in that time, we will give you a strategy for the remaining weeks. But before that, we will have our parent-teacher meets, and we'll keep you updated. All right. Deborah Lobo. In normal times, when does the application process start? So, uh, Deborah, in normal times, the application start somewhere in October or November. All right. So that's when, from October, you need to keep your eyes open for all these colleges. What is the ideal? Okay. Sanjana is asking another interesting question. What is the ideal time or month to start applying to colleges? So on October 30th and November 1st, we are going to have something called an application day. All right. So look out for that. Now, we've had a lot of students who've been saying, okay, I want to plan only for NIDs and IITs. That's perfectly fine. You can do that. For those who want to have backup plans open, and we recommend that, a lot of people wait for the deadlines to get over, and then they say, okay, now what schools do I apply to? Now, why we are doing this early is because a lot of the schools offer scholarship for the first set of applications that come in. All right. Um, so we don't want you to miss out on that. Having said that, once you get the scholarship, they give you deadlines to pay. Right? They say block your scholarship. So we want you to understand the nitty gritties in that. We want you to understand what schools should you apply to in the first place, shortlist your school and apply only to those schools, because the application process to every individual school is very expensive. All right. We recommend applying to about 10 schools in multiple cities other than the NIDs or IITs. All right. Of those 10 schools, you follow those parameters, what I suggested, and um, very important to follow those parameters, shortlist from that, and in your shortlist of locations, then select about 10 schools and apply to those. All right. Is the e-meet with Whistling Woods available? So just go through all the e-meets that we've done. Whistling Woods, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we were able to do it, but you'll have to just look at that. PS College Bangalore is offering BDES. Sanvi, PS College is offering a BDES. They are uh, they are they have been offering it from the last few years, but we'll to really tell you whether it's a good school that can be considered or not, we need to see what you want from the school and is the school giving you that. Okay, in fact, every school every school that you consider, please ensure that you do this. You need to see what your personality is, what you want from a school, and is that school giving you that. All right, so whether it's PS, whether it's any school, that's the way you kind of figure it out. All right. Can you work in different fields after a BTech degree? The answer is so. Omisha is asking a nice question. Can you work in different fields after doing a BTech degree? The answer to that is definitely. All right. It's very, very interesting. Now, how many of y'all participated in the design hackathon? All right. So we recently had a design hackathon, and which got over yesterday. So I want to know really how many of y'all have uh, attended the design hackathon or participated in that, because that's an important opportunity for you to understand the skill sets. So if you go through that, you would understand that design is a thought process. All right, that thought processes that thought process helps you solve problems. What problems that are can be of various ranges. Okay, it could be a product problem, it could be a UI/UX problem, it could be a fashion problem, it could be anything. Now, what skill sets you use to solve those problems is your ability and your let me say enterprising nature. All right, so if you look out for for opportunities, you will get opportunities. There was someone who reached out to us and to me and said, what's the point in designers? All the engineers are just doing a UI/UX course and becoming designers. So I told them that, you know what, they are doing UI/UX programs and becoming designers because opportunities exist, because there are no people, designers, qualified for those opportunities. So that's why these opportunities exist. Now, if you train yourself for a specific course in that, and and that would be the ideal option to get a job in that field of interest. Many of you may or may not know your interest at this stage, or even later on. You all will just join a college, you'll just take the first thing that you'll get, and you all will work towards that. All right, do the program. You can always use your skill sets to transition into other fields. All right, so Omisha, I hope that uh, that answers your question. Elena, do IITs offer courses for animation? Please do check that on the website. Can you suggest good design schools in Singapore? Yes, there are good design schools. We are inviting experts on design schools abroad, and they will cover this. In fact, if you do want to apply for for NAFA, the official agency, we are inviting them. Um, is NID good for animation? Yes, it is good for admission to IIT Mumbai. NID Ahmedabad is ranked the only criteria. Um, Fortunately or unfortunately, yes, your rank is the only criteria. Okay, but uh, what do they check to get that rank? That is your skill sets. All right, that is more important. So yes, to get that rank, you need to have a design skill set. All right. So Vani, yes, I hope that answers your question. Um, Nidhi Kohli, so today's newspaper, Presidency University BDES notice also came. Are there other universities in Ahmedabad which have BDES? How can we find out the good ones? Nidhi Kohli, yes, Presidency has a BDES program. In fact, if you go on to the DQH platform, okay, I think Presidency is here as well. Yes, Presidency is here as well. All right, so you can click on details, and the details are here. All right, at least the basic details, right? GLS University, Anand University. So yeah, so Nidhi, there are there are tons of universities. If you want to know any specific university, you let me know. I will connect with them. I will invite them to speak with our students, um, and we'll see. You know, if they are willing. There are a lot of schools that are willing. A lot of schools that are not willing. I personally have visited about 50 to 60 different schools all across India. Before pre-COVID, I have traveled all across India evaluating schools. I do have specific insights on specific schools, but this particular forum is not for specific schools. If you want that, you can have a direct conversation with me, and I can kind of guide you on that. Please, if you want my time, please reach out to 959 100 1000, and we will get the counselors will connect you with me. All right. Parent teaching meeting is for sharing feedback. Yes, Arti, parent teacher meeting is for feedback. What is the fee structure of NID and NIDs segregating hostel fee and classes fee? Elena, please look on the website. All this information is on the website. What are the some of the international colleges in India for fashion? Marangoni, Nandita Nair, Marangoni, very good. Um, Raffles is there. There's a lot of schools. There is some of these schools like Pearl Academy and ISDI. They have tied up with colleges abroad for fashion design, and the curriculum is in line with foreign universities. So all that is good. Uh, are you covering international college applications like NAFA, Raffles, etc.? Yes, we will. We are connecting with them as well. We will invite them on the 30th, 31st, and 1st. We do. Okay. So fantastic. Will you be sharing this presentation? Mitra, this presentation is recorded on YouTube Live. You will see this. This will be available at all points of time. Whenever you want to, you can come back onto our DK Labs channel, and you will be able to participate. You will be able to see this. Okay. Do we have one document or table having all the required details of school information? So we tried to populate this on our. Okay, so if you come on the DQ Labs website and say design schools to consider, you can get it here, or let me check. There is another website. Let me just check if it's here. So we don't really do that because it is sometimes what happens. There are a lot of these changes happen. There are tons of changes that happen. All right, so it's very difficult to to give you that document or table. My recommendation would be to come to DQ Edge. You see all the colleges here, and then you can connect with them if you want to get information on their deadlines. I would say that would be the best way to go about it. All right. Which colleges are good for interior design? Hannah, CPT, Ahmedabad, or if not, any of these colleges that have a good program can be, any of these colleges particulars can be considered, like I mentioned. All colleges, their intention is good. All colleges have very good intention to be there, um, and to exist, but you need to see which one suits you. All right. Can you please run through all the IITs and tell us about the specific offers? Oh, course offerings. Selina Joshi is asking about the IITs. Um, there is IIT Bombay, IIT Guwahati, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Jabalpur. All right. Now, what happens? Let me share my screen for this particular question. All right. So this is the website. Now, what happens is these IITs give you a general degree. All right, you need to go through the website. So what happens, at least in IIT Bombay, what they do is they give you the option to choose your electives. So you decide what designer you want to be. You can take graphic, you can take product, you can take, various aspects. You can take some UI UX subjects, you can take some transportation subjects. It depends on what your interests are. So you choose that and you make your own specialization. What you do get is a general BDes degree at a school like IIT Bombay. All right. I'm going to stop the share. Right. Saina Siri, where can we see the evaluation of design schools? So DQ Labs does not evaluate any of these design schools. Okay. In fact, if anyone says these are the top 5 design schools, please do not uh, go by that. All right. There is no official, unless it's an official one. So if you're looking at international schools, a guideline you could use is the QS World Rankings. But for an Indian context, there is no real ranking as such that gives you a true picture. So that's the reason why, that's the fundamental purpose why we are organizing this webinar. All right, is to enable you to make your own ranking. Like I mentioned, you use this set of parameters, and let me come back to that screen again. All right, you should use these parameters to select your own schools and list out your own schools. All right, for example, fantastic school in Delhi, you don't want to go to Delhi, right? So that may be number one in anybody's list, but if you don't want to go there, you don't want to go there, right? Or there's an excellent school, the fee is maybe 8 lakhs a year, your affordability is 4 lakhs a year. So whether it's a good school or not, it does not matter. That is not a good school for you, right? uh, you want a BDS, the school does not offer a BDS, so that's not a good school for you. So don't so so the purpose of this particular slide is to make you create your own rank list. You create your rank list, you decide what schools are good for you. You go through the D Club's YouTube channel, you see firsthand what each school has to say about their own schools. You see whether that aligns with what you want, and then make your rank list. All right. I hope this is clear. All right. So the point is, we don't want to do this. All right. Could you repeat the phone number? Oh, okay. I will do one thing. Let me share my screen again. Uh, so this is the phone number for any of you um, who want to know how to contact me. Okay. So Saina, I hope you got that. Uh, why don't international universities offer BDes degrees? So international universities really, this thing of degree is typically an Indian thing, okay, where we put so much emphasis on degrees. Um, Abroad, they look at the program, they look at the school and the opportunities that the school offers, and the degree is just an award to enhance that. But it's not so. Abroad, they focus more on diplomas. Of course, the rules to give degrees or diplomas is, it changes for everybody. How can I try to do BDes abroad? You need to find out first which colleges offer BDes. If not, most colleges offer degree programs in design. You need to figure out, or degrees or diplomas in design. Sorry. Which is the best BDes program? Okay. Is there a foundation course at IITs? All schools will have, all 4-year programs will start off with a uh, first year of um, a foundation and the next 3 years of specialization. All right. Okay. degree for animation is called BSc in animation or BDes itself? No, BSc is different, BDes is different. BSc is a 3-year program, BDes is a 4-year program. All right. So you need to. Can we switch colleges after the foundation year? No, you cannot switch colleges after the foundation year. Will an OCI student um, be treated differently in an IIT or an NID? No. When you enter college, nobody is going to ask you whether you're OCI or whether you are general merit or SC or ST or EWS. Nobody is going to question that. You enter the college, you qualify to enter that college. All right. Can we switch courses after the first year? Most colleges, the government schools may or may not allow you to do that. Private schools generally also, some of them allow you, some of them do not allow you. So this is what will be very subjective to each college in each context. Okay. What are the top colleges for design in India other than NIDs or IITs? So Krishna Priya, I hope I've answered this question a little while ago. The top colleges are, there's no such thing as top colleges. We would like you to consider that all colleges are good, and you need to see what is um, good for you. All right. So it's gone way past 6 o'clock. So I think I'm going to end this webinar now. But thank you so much for coming online here and taking the time out to be here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this uh, webinar. All right. And I hope this was useful. Please remember to like and share this webinar with your friends. Subscribe to the DQ Labs YouTube channel. Go through the DQ Labs website in details. Um, take one NID, one UC test this week in whole, and I hope you uh, understood what I was saying. Okay, there's quite a lot of requests for recommendations for private schools. So this is a tough one, but let me address this because it's a question that's being asked. Okay, so please go through all of these schools. These are the schools I would recommend. All right. I would recommend all of these schools for various reasons. Uh, and some of these schools may be here listed here. Some of these may not be listed here. So what happens is I need to ask them for permission. So a college like Shrishti has not really responded to me for putting up their logo here or details here. But nevertheless, it's still a college that I recommend. The schools here, I've got permission from them to list out here. So these are schools that are good. Pretty much all of these schools are good, and I can recommend for various reasons. And there are a lot of other schools that are not here, which I could also recommend, but probably at another time. All right. So that's about it for today's session. Thank you for making it here. And I am going to end this webinar right away. Okay. I hope it was a good presentation. I hope it, you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like and comment on this webinar, and we will try our best to address all questions that come here later. All right. Take care. All the best to you, and do well.